Everybody, welcome back. This is going to be a recap of Game 2 of the ALDS Red Sox at Indians. I don't know where to start, to be honest. I guess David Price is where you start. So you're the Boston Red Sox. You're going down 0-2 in a best-of-5 series, going back to Fenway. At least we have that. But your two best pitchers have let you down. What was it? 3 1/3 or something like that from David Price, and 4 1/3 or 4 2/3 from Rick Porcello. A combined 10 earned runs. It's just can't explain how important, I can't emphasize how important pitching is in the playoffs. Now, if you look at both wild card games, okay, specifically the NL wild card game, neither of the Mets or the Giants offense did shit. So we're not sitting here saying they didn't perform well. What are we saying? The Giants won a game down to the wire thanks to Madison Bumgarner. We're not sitting here saying what we're saying about the Red Sox, that the lineup sucks and they can't hit the ball and they're losing. We're not saying that. Why aren't we saying that? Because I'm sorry, I just confused myself. We are saying that. We're saying the lineup sucks. We're saying all of these things because we don't have that pitching to save us. We can't get away with 1 run, with 2 runs, because we don't have that right now. The Giants lineup isn't getting shit. They're not getting roasted by the media, nor should they have to be, because luckily they have a pitcher who's one of the best in the history of the MLB playoffs in Madison Bumgarner. The Mets offense, yeah, they're going to get a little bit of grief because they didn't score a run and they lost the game, but 7 shutout innings from Thor, as I like to call him, Syndergaard. But when your pitching doesn't perform and your offense doesn't perform, that's when you start to look and you say, well, man, this offense isn't performing. There's nothing to hide behind. Is really what I'm trying to get at. And that through 2 games, look, I wasn't too upset with the way the offense played last night. Obviously, your star players didn't do well. It wasn't a good game, obviously, but you scored 4 runs. And so far this season, that's been enough runs for Rick Porcello. But tonight there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to look at and say, well, at least they did this. They had 3 hits. Just awful. Just not a good performance. I wish I could make this another 30-minute video, because last night we lost. The Red Sox lost. And I could make a 30-minute video today because there was a lot to talk about. And there was a lot about this specific game that just happened. About last night's game, there's a lot to talk about. And there are reasons to be, kind of optimistic, glass half full. And there are definitely reasons to be glass half empty. But tonight, there's nothing to be glass half full about. And I warned you guys last night. I warned you in my video that as much as I said it's okay that the Stars didn't perform because they only lost by 2. You remember me saying that. I said they only lost by 2 without their stars performing. That's a good sign. But I also said this is the playoffs. You don't have 162 games to get that offense rolling. The Red Sox have 1 game to get that offense rolling now. There's no easing your way into it. They have to catch fire. Clay Buchholz is on the mound. So I'm sorry I can't sit here and talk about this game. What am I going to say? Ortiz sucked. Ramirez sucked. Bogart sucked. Bradley sucked. Leon sucked. Benintendi sucked. Pedroia sucked. Holt sucked. Betts sucked. What do you want me to say? Price sucked. There's nothing I can say but that. Bullpen, sure, good job. You perform very well. Of course you perform well. There's no pressure. You're going to lose the game. there's nothing to say. There's not a lot to talk about for this game. It was just not good. Not good. But we're going to look forward to the next game because I'm not going to sit here and make a 3-minute video. The Red Sox play Sunday. I'm pretty sure the Pats play at 1, so with that being said, I believe the Red Sox play at 4, or it's vice versa. I doubt that they would schedule a game at the same time as the Patriots game in Boston. But either way, it's a Sunday game. You got Clay Buchholz on the mound in an elimination game. It's in Fenway. Your offense is cold. If anyone was going to keep the fire going from the first game, it would have been Hanley Ramirez because he had a great game, but not even him. Backs against the wall. I mean, I'd love to get into David Price. But what's the point? We all know what he's worth. We all know the amount of money spent on him. So why sit here and say he's not worth the money? Why sit here and say he choked again in the playoffs? Why sit here and say all these things that we already know? I don't see the need in spending 20 minutes on it. So you all know what happened. You all know that he didn't man up. And now because of that, Clay Buchholz, a player that 95%, including me, 95% of Red Sox fans were saying, get him out of town, just send him to the minors and keep him there all year if you have to. I don't want to see his face. Over his last 5 starts as an under 3 ERA, it's scary. I know he's pitched well, but like I said last night, I believe, did I say this last night? Maybe not. Maybe I was talking to nobody. One thing about Clay Buchholz is we look and we see, okay, he has under 3 ERA in his last 5 starts. But if there's one thing that I've learned about watching Clay Buchholz since his rookie year is that you can't look at his track record. His track record says you can't base anything off of his track record because that's how inconsistent he is. But I have no faith that the Boston Red Sox are going to put up 6 runs this game. With that being said, I have no faith that the Red Sox can win this game if Clay Buchholz lets up 4 runs. I do not think they can win. That doesn't mean they will. Well, that doesn't mean they can't. I mean, they won't win. But I don't. Why should I be confident that this team? I mean, yeah, I get it. They're coming home. They're gonna. Poppy. I hope he's giving the most asshole ripping speech in the locker room right now because there are a lot of players on that team that need it. They need to wake up. But you're not facing a good pitcher. You faced one good pitcher against this Cleveland one good starting pitcher against Cleveland. You just faced him, and he dealt. He shut you guys down. That's Corey Kluber. Other than that, it's a bunch of no-names. Really, I'm not kidding. So, this lineup's the best lineup in baseball. They shouldn't have problems against someone like that. But I don't suspect. What I suspect is that if we get to this guy within the first 4 innings, say the 3rd inning, the 4th inning, he lets up 2 runs, and Andrew Miller's in. He's in instantly because they're going to try to win it there. They're not going to want to wait. They're going to bring Andrew Miller in. They're going to bring in their guys. They're going to bring in Cody Allen to get a 2-inning save. I suspect a very short leash, which means the Red Sox are going to have to, we're going to have a big game from John Farrell when it comes to substitutions, pinch hits. This is back against all. This is the last game of the season. Do you want to get swept after winning the division, spending the money you spent? Are you going to go get swept? No, you're going to do everything you can. You're going to do everything you can not to get swept. You're going to do everything you can to win the series. And best believe Terry Francona is going to want to leave this series in Fenway, Game 3. So everybody's got to wake up. John Farrell's going to have plays to make because I suspect this to be a bullpen game for Cleveland. I do not see the starter going 7 innings. I don't even think they're going to want him to go 7 innings. I think that they want him to go 4 or 5 innings and then just bring Andrew Miller in for fucking 3 innings and just let him deal. That's honestly what I believe the game plan is. Get the bullpen to Andrew Miller and Cody Allen. I think that's what they want to do. Get their matchups lefty, lefty, righty, righty. And these hitters who are slumping, these Red Sox hitters, all of them are slumping, really. Here's something weird out there. All of these Red Sox hitters are slumping. If I'm right and that it does get to the bullpen, they're going to end up facing bad matchups. As in, it's going to be Xander Bogaerts against a righty pitcher. Or David Ortiz is going to get 3 of his 5 or 4 at-bats are going to be against a lefty. Same with Jackie Bradley and Andrew Benintendi. So that being said, they're slumping, and now I think they're going to have to end up having a lot of bad matchups. That doesn't help your slump. So there's not a lot of time for these guys to turn it around. But they're going to have to. If they want to stay alive, they're going to have to find a way to win this game. And they're going to have to somehow use this first home playoff game for the Red Sox. They're gonna have to find some motivation. I don't think you need motivation in an elimination game, but with the way they're playing, they just look so flat. Did they not look so flat tonight? They need to find something. Something's got to happen, because they don't look like they want it. I mean, Cleveland is they are freaking out on the bench over a base on balls. And then, I mean, I'm not going to say the Red Sox aren't getting excited about all the good stuff that happened to them, because nothing good is happening for them. With that being said, they are not making anything good happen for them. It's just, it's going to be rough, guys. It's going to be rough. You went out this offseason, you got your closer. You spent a lot of prospects on him. You spent a lot of fucking money on a $217 million pitcher, David Price, who really, honestly, I've been a David Price supporter all season. I have. You ask any of my friends, I've been a David Price supporter all season. Not because of, I haven't been able to back up his bad performances, but I've been a supporter in the sense that he says the right shit. He's always saying, I had a bad game. I'm better than this. I'm the best pitcher in the league. I can do this. I'm better. This won't happen again. Or he won't necessarily happen again, but he just says, I got my ass kicked tonight. He owns up to it, and he says, I got to do better. You don't hear that a lot from pitchers. They, it just couldn't find the zone tonight. The ump was a little off. I started to get tired. They're making excuses. He's owned up to it, but now I'm hearing stuff like I saw this video of him. I didn't see it. I heard a clip of him like hooting and hollering. I think he was out like at a club or something at a party. I don't know what he was doing, but he's like he said this, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said, "I went to Boston because they gave me $217 million. Period. That's why I went to Boston." So the rumors were, okay, St. Louis is where he really wanted to go. He wanted to play in St. Louis. And then he got one call from Boston saying, we'll pay 1 extra year for an extra $30 million. And he's like, all right, Boston we go. So it's just, and then he said before the game today, he said, I'm not, the stakes aren't that high today. They were higher last year. Last year in the playoffs for Toronto, that was a bigger game than this game. That kind of says, okay, well, and he said because it was a free agent year. So that makes sense. You want your money, but don't you want to prove to the team that spent that money on you that you, A, prove to yourself that you can win in the playoffs because you've never done it, and B, prove that they spent that $217 million wisely? He seems like he's pushing the pressure away, and he folded again, and he just doesn't look like he cares. And I hope and I pray to God that the way I'm feeling about him right now, because it is the exact same way that we all felt about John Lackey after the first year. It's the exact same way. Doesn't care. Not that good anymore. Spent a lot of money on someone who's just not that good. He just doesn't have the stuff anymore. Can't control it. He's too inconsistent. God, it just doesn't fit here. He just came here for the money. And then what happened? He ended up pitching in a World Series clinching game in, 2013. and became not a fan favorite, but a liked guy around town and a Boston Red Sox player. So, look, I hope for David Price's sake and my sake, because I've been supporting him. I hope that he gets another chance to pitch this series. And if he does, think of it like this. So say the Red Sox win Game 3. Then they win Game 4. So, no, we're going to stick at Game 3. Game 3, Clay Buchholz wins. Game 4. All right? I believe Rick Porcello only threw like 70 pitches in the first game because he got shelled early. He's going to want to pitch Game 4. Rightfully so. David Price couldn't, nor would they really want him to. But you want your Cy Young candidate on the mound over Eddie Rodriguez, who's been a fine pitcher in the last 4 weeks. He's had one blow-up against New York, but he's been a fine pitcher. But an elimination game, you want Rick Porcello on the mound. He didn't throw that many pitches, so he can definitely go. So I see in Game 4, assuming we get to Game 4, Rick Porcello is going to be on the mound. And then Game 5, probably Eddie Rodriguez. No. You know what? Game 5, if on Game 4 Rick Porcello pitches Game 5, do you think... Let me know what you think if any of you guys are even watching this. But Game 5, Rick Porcello pitches Game 4. Do you see David Price on the mound for Game 5? That's what I want to see. We got to get there first. Look, I know. We got to get there first. I'm dreaming. But this does matter in the context of the game that I just watched. And David Price getting shelled. Because he has to have another chance to redeem himself. Or he's going to have the worst 7 months until next baseball season. Or 6 months. Is going to be the worst thing he's ever been a part of. He's going to want out of Boston. He's going to want... it is going to be bad. He needs another chance. And if he is the player that I think he is, I do see a guy that wants to win. I just think he goes about it another way. He's honest. And I think sometimes I like it. When he says, I fucked up, I'll come back. But then when he openly says, yeah, last year's a bigger game, I'm like, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. I want you to say, this is the biggest goddamn game you've ever pitched. But he's being honest. So, if David Price is the guy that I think he is, a guy who wants to win, he's going to, if we get to a Game 5, he's got to pitch that game. If he's not pitching in Game 5, because he didn't throw that many pitches tonight. If he does not pitch in Game 5, he's not the guy I think he is. And he's going to get roasted until he proves himself, which he hasn't done. But like I said, guys, we got to get to Game 5. But man, would that be a sight to see. David Price with a chance to redeem himself. And that crowd at the Jake is going to be, oh God, they're going to go all at his neck. So, guys, this is going to be a big game. There's nothing else I can say about it. It's going to be a game where every decision made by John Farrell, every at-bat, by every player, every pitch thrown by every pitcher, hopefully only 1 or 2 or 3 pitchers, 1 or 3 as in 7 innings and an 8th and a 9th inning guy. But every single thing that happens will matter because it's elimination. And you got Clay Buchholz on the mound. Who would have thought 3 months ago Clay Buchholz is pitching an elimination game for the Boston Red Sox? Not the Paw Sox. Not the Sea Dogs. The Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox. To be honest, guys, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it. I really don't. I think right now I'm kind of leaning towards Cleveland, but I just feel like with Poppy, it's his last game. I don't think they're going to let him go out like that. I think the other players are going to step up because why would you? That's so disgraceful to end the game on something like that. So for him, on end the season on something like that. So I want to. My heart says Red Sox, not because I'm a fan, but just because it just seems like a game they're going to win. But why should I believe that? What have I seen that has said that they are going to win this game? This was the most awful Red Sox game I've watched in a while. most boring Red Sox game I've watched in a while, and it was postseason. I was so bored. They couldn't do anything. I was just so bored. It was, and I'm not one of those baseball fans that can't watch a baseball game. I keep the goddamn book. I keep the book, for crying out loud. I love it. But I was so bored. I was just like, I caught myself like forgetting to call strikes and balls because I'd look at my phone because, well, it's the 6th inning. Red Sox aren't doing shit. They're getting blasted. They aren't showing any signs of life. Their heads were already saying, let's just get back to Fenway. Regroup, let's just get back to Fenway. And as soon as David Price let up that big inning, from the 2nd inning on, they were saying, let's just get back to Fenway. They were done. They clocked out. And you know what? I don't blame them. This team's too good to be swept. Too good to be swept. That game was lost. And I think now they're just saying, let's get back to Boston and let's win this damn series. Let's win this game. And we'll take it from there. Rick Porcello could be on the mound game 4. We'll see. So, let me know what you guys think. Have a great night, everybody.